Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed something? The richest, most successful people in the world, they don't have secret magic. They don't have superpowers. They just do small, simple things consistently. Things almost nobody else bothers with. Take Elon Musk. The guy is changing entire industries, building rockets, making electric cars, yet he swears by routines and energy management. Jeff Bezos built an empire, but treats his sleep like it's sacred. And yet here we are, scrolling TikTok at 2 a.m., finishing one Netflix episode after another, and wondering why life feels chaotic. Today, I'm going to tell you 10 life upgrades that cost absolutely nothing. Habits so simple, so free, yet so powerful that if you actually start doing them, you'll feel unstoppable. We're talking about upgrades that instantly improve your energy, focus, confidence, and even the way people see you. Habits that will make you more productive, more disciplined, and more respected, without spending a single rupee or dollar. Now let's start with the first and arguably the most important upgrade, the one that fuels everything else, your sleep. I once met a young guy who told me, I want to change my life. I want to hustle. I want to succeed. I asked him, what time do you sleep? He said, around 4 a.m. I asked, and wake up? He laughed. Around 4 a.m. too? Sometimes 10. Bro, you can't build an empire on 2 hours of sleep and pure delusion. Look at successful people. Elon Musk doesn't joke with sleep. Jeff Bezos doesn't joke with sleep. Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't joke with sleep. They protect it like treasure. And why? Because energy fuels focus. Focus fuels discipline. Discipline fuels results. Your phone dies every night and you charge it. Why don't you treat your own body the same way? Sleep is the cheapest, easiest, most powerful upgrade you can give yourself. Here's a simple rule. Pick a sleep schedule that makes sense for you and stick to it for 14 days. Not perfect, not early, just consistent. What happens next? You wake up naturally, you feel energetic, your mood lifts, you make decisions faster. People notice your confidence. Imagine two students preparing for exams. Student A sleeps at 3 a.m., wakes up at 10, scrolls for an hour before getting out of bed, and spends the whole day feeling like a half-charged battery. Student B sleeps at 11, wakes up at 7, plans their day, and walks into class with full energy. Who wins? Not the one who studied more, the one who had more energy to use what they studied. Tasks that used to feel hard suddenly feel manageable. And the beautiful part? You didn't spend a dime. One young creator messaged me saying, I fixed my sleep for 10 days. Just 10, and suddenly I started creating content consistently. Why? Because when you're tired, motivation fails. When you're rested, everything becomes possible. So tonight, close your eyes on time, protect your energy. Treat sleep like the superpower it is. Because this is the foundation. Every other life upgrade, confidence, productivity, focus, social skills, starts with this. Now that your sleep is sorted and your energy is back, let's talk about something almost everyone struggles with, including me. Yes, I admit it. Your digital life. Look around. How many times today have you unlocked your phone for one quick check and suddenly 2 hours are gone? Stories, reels, videos, TikToks, ads for things you don't even want, and suddenly your brain feels like mush. We think we're connected, but actually we're distracted, stressed, and exhausted. Let me tell you a story. There's a friend of mine, let's call him David. He wanted to start a side hustle, maybe a small business online. Every evening he'd say, tonight I'll work for an hour. But somehow, Instagram stories, TikTok memes, YouTube videos, 3 hours later, he's arguing with strangers in comments and has learned nothing useful. By the end of the week, he's frustrated, demotivated, and tired. Here's the crazy thing. The apps are not the problem. The notifications are not the problem. You are the problem, and the solution is even crazier simple. Step 1. Turn off non-essential notifications. Yes, every ping is literally stealing your attention and your future. Step 2. Unfollow accounts that make you anxious, jealous, or lazy. You know the ones, influencers living lives you don't care about, memes that make you laugh for 5 seconds but waste 15 minutes scrolling, ads for stuff you can't afford. Step 3. Set phone-free zones or hours. Eat dinner without your phone. Go for a walk without your phone. Even 20 minutes feels like a mental vacation. Bill Gates doesn't spend hours on social media. Warren Buffett doesn't scroll memes until 2 a.m. And Elon Musk, the man is busy launching rockets. He can't waste energy on pointless scrolling. They all know attention is the most valuable currency in the modern world. When you clean up your digital life, something magical happens. Your brain clears, your focus sharpens, and suddenly you're not just living life, you're creating life. Think about it. Two people. Both have the same talent. Both have the same dreams. One spends hours lost in social media every night. The other spends that time learning, creating, thinking, or resting properly. Who will actually succeed? The answer is obvious. So here's your upgrade. Clean up your digital life. Delete distractions. Mute unnecessary notifications. Unfollow accounts that waste your energy. Protect your attention like it's gold, because it is. Remember, energy is your fuel. Attention is your engine. You fix the fuel with sleep. Now, you're building the engine with this upgrade. When both work together, nothing can stop you. And just imagine applying this before your next upgrade. Your mind is free, focused, and ready for massive progress. Now that your energy is fixed and your mind is free from endless scrolling, let's talk about something surprisingly powerful, free, and almost magical. Gratitude. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Gratitude? That's cheesy. I don't need to write in a diary and say thanks to the universe. But hear me out. The people who are truly unstoppable, from billionaires to top athletes, they all have this one habit in common. And no, it's not exotic training, expensive tools, or hacks you've never heard of. It's gratitude. Let me give you an example. Oprah Winfrey. She doesn't just talk about gratitude. She literally writes down 5 things she's grateful for every single day. And it's not just spiritual mumbo jumbo. It rewires her brain to focus on what's working instead of what's broken. That's why, even in tough times, she keeps creating, growing, and dominating. Now, let's be real. Most of us complain constantly. Traffic was terrible. My boss annoyed me. I'm broke, tired, stressed, and then we scroll for hours feeling sorry for ourselves. I had a friend, let's call him Lois, who hated Mondays. Every Monday he complained about work, traffic, life. One day I told him, try this. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Doesn't matter how small. Next Monday, he wrote, I woke up, I had coffee, my Wi-Fi worked. That's it. 3 tiny things. But by the 3rd day, he was smiling. By the end of the week, he actually started looking forward to Mondays. Why? Because gratitude shifts your brain from what's wrong to what's possible. And here's the magic. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel good, it literally rewires your mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles. Suddenly, you're more creative, more confident, more motivated. Even your energy feels higher. Now, don't overcomplicate it. You don't need fancy journals or apps. Just take 1-2 minutes every morning or night and think, what went well today? What am I thankful for? What small wins did I have? That's it. Done. That tiny habit costs 0 money, takes almost no time, and produces massive results over weeks and months. Let me give you an example. Richard Branson, the billionaire behind Virgin Group, wakes up and focuses on positive things first. His family, his health, his opportunities, instead of jumping straight into emails or problems. That mindset makes him unstoppable, and the same habit can work for you. So here's your 3rd upgrade. Practice daily gratitude. Simple, free, and ridiculously powerful. Now that your mind is clear, your energy is back, and gratitude is flowing, it's time to talk about something incredibly simple, free, and surprisingly powerful: walking. Yes, just walking. But not walking like you're going to the fridge to grab another snack. I mean purposeful walking for 20 minutes every day. Let me tell you a story. There's this tech entrepreneur, let's call him Sam, who was stuck in endless Zoom meetings, emails, and stress. He started walking for 20 minutes every day during lunch. Nothing fancy, no gym membership, no equipment, just walking. And here's what happened. Within a week, he felt more alert. Within a month, his ideas were flowing faster. Within 3 months, his productivity doubled. Why? Because walking isn't just exercise, it's mental clarity in motion. Even famous people do this. Steve Jobs loved walking meetings. Mark Zuckerberg walks to clear his mind. Oprah, again, swears by daily walks to reset her energy and focus. The pattern is clear. Walking isn't just health, it's creativity, energy, and focus rolled into one. Now let's get real. Most of us think we don't have time. I'm too busy. I'll go to the gym later. I don't like walking. But here's the catch. 20 minutes. That's it. The time it takes to watch one mediocre TV episode. And the benefits? Immense. Walking improves your mood, your thinking, your energy, your focus. You'll notice things you've been missing, like that brilliant idea for a side hustle, or a solution to a problem you've been stressing over for weeks. Here's a funny example. I started doing this myself. I decided to walk for 20 minutes every day without headphones. Just me, the street, and my thoughts. At first I felt awkward. People stared. But then, something magical happened. My mind started solving problems on autopilot. I realized ideas I had been struggling with for weeks suddenly made sense. It's like your brain goes from buffering to high-speed download. And all it took was moving your legs for 20 minutes. And here's another bonus. Walking doesn't just change your mind. It changes your body. You feel lighter. You feel stronger. You feel healthier. That energy feeds into your confidence, your presence, and even the way people treat you. So here's your fourth upgrade. Walk 20 minutes every single day. No excuses, no apps, no gym required. Just put on your shoes, step outside, and let your mind and body do the work. Now that your mind is clear, energy is back, gratitude is flowing, and your body is moving. Let's talk about something almost everyone ignores. Planning your day before sleeping. Think about it. Most people wake up like zombies, staring at the ceiling, scrolling their phones, and wondering, what should I even do today? By the time they start working, half the day is gone, and they feel exhausted before even achieving anything. Bill Gates is known for being incredibly deliberate with his time. He plans his days carefully, knowing exactly what needs his attention. Every task, every meeting, every decision is mapped out in advance. That's why he gets so much done without running himself into burnout. Or look at athletes like Serena Williams or LeBron James. They don't just show up at practice and wing it. They know exactly what they're going to focus on each day. Visualization and planning give them an edge. They start strong because their minds are already prepared. Even students can relate. Imagine two students preparing for exams. Student A goes to bed without thinking about what to tackle tomorrow. Student B writes down the top 3 things to focus on in the morning. Guess who wakes up confident, organized, and ready to crush it? Student B. It's that simple. Let me tell you a funny everyday example. A small business owner might wake up, check emails, scroll social media, make coffee, and then realize they haven't worked on anything important. Meanwhile, someone who plans the night before wakes up, sees the top priorities, and starts taking action immediately. The difference is night and day, literally. So here's the upgrade. Take 5 minutes before sleeping to plan your day. Write down the 3 most important things to accomplish, any minor tasks, and one action that moves you closer to your big goal. That's it. No apps, no courses, no overthinking, just clarity. When you do this consistently, mornings stop being chaotic, decisions feel automatic, stress drops, productivity rises, and suddenly life doesn't feel like a scramble. It feels like a game you're winning. Combine this with your sleep, digital cleanup, gratitude, and daily walks, and the momentum starts building. Each upgrade amplifies the next. Now that your mornings are organized and your day is under control, it's time for a small but powerful upgrade. Learning one new skill for just 15 minutes every day. Yes, 15 minutes, that's all it takes. And you'd be surprised how much progress even a tiny daily habit can create. Think about it. Warren Buffett spends about 5-6 hours a day reading. Elon Musk learned how to build rockets, electric cars, and solar panels by dedicating time to learn, often in short, intense bursts. And Kobe Bryant, he didn't just show up to practice. He focused on one skill at a time, perfecting it over and over. Now let's bring this closer to reality. Imagine someone learning a new language. They spend just 15 minutes a day practicing vocabulary and listening. After 1 month, they can have a basic conversation. After 6 months, they're fluent enough to travel or work in that language, all because of 15 minutes every day. Or a young graphic designer. They practice one design technique daily for 15 minutes. 3 months later, their portfolio looks like they've been designing professionally for years. The key? Consistency. Small steps compound faster than you think. Here's a funny example. A friend wanted to learn how to cook, but hated spending hours in the kitchen. He decided to spend only 15 minutes a day watching a recipe video and practicing one step. Within a month, he could cook a full meal without burning the house down. Tiny effort, huge payoff. The secret is this. You don't need to master everything at once. You just need to start small and be consistent. Whether it's coding, public speaking, drawing, writing, or a new sport. 15 minutes daily is enough to create momentum. And here's another powerful example. Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, is constantly learning. He doesn't sit in a classroom for years. He reads, asks questions, and learns in small, manageable pieces. That tiny habit of consistent learning compounds into expertise that lasts a lifetime. So here's your 6th upgrade. Commit to learning one new skill for 15 minutes a day. That's all it takes, and over time, you'll realize that small daily efforts create massive advantages over people who wait for motivation, time, or perfect conditions. Remember, this habit is not just about skill, it's about mindset. You're telling yourself, I am capable, I can improve, I can grow. Combined with sleep, digital detox, gratitude, walking, and planning your day, this tiny habit becomes another brick in your unstoppable foundation. Now that you're learning new skills every day, it's time to talk about something that changes how the world sees you instantly. Your body language. Think about it. People don't just judge you by what you say. They judge you by how you stand, how you walk, how you carry yourself. And the crazy part, most people don't even notice they're sending the wrong signals. Here's a simple example. Imagine two people walking into a room. One slouches, looks at the floor, fidgets, and mumbles. Hi. The other stands tall, shoulders back, makes eye contact, and says, hi, with confidence. Guess who everyone remembers? Guess who gets respect immediately? That's the power of body language. Even famous examples show this. Barack Obama's presence wasn't just about words. It was about calm, confident gestures. Serena Williams doesn't just swing a racket. Her stance, posture, and gaze intimidate opponents before the game even begins. And Tony Robbins, he literally teaches that changing your posture can change your state of mind. Here's a funny, relatable story. A young guy wanted to get noticed at work. He would slouch in meetings, mumble, and avoid eye contact. Nobody listened to him. One day, he started practicing simple things. Stand tall, keep your head up, and smile confidently. The next week, colleagues were asking for his opinions. Boss started noticing, all from tiny shifts in body language. The secret is simple. Posture plus gestures plus eye contact is equal to instant credibility. Stand like you own the room, walk like you have purpose, and speak with confidence. Even if you feel nervous inside, your body sends a signal to your brain. I am capable. I am confident. And your brain believes it. Here's a practical tip. Every morning, spend 2 minutes in front of a mirror. Practice standing tall, shoulders back, smile naturally, hands relaxed. Watch your posture when you walk around your house. It sounds small, but over time, this tiny habit changes how people treat you and how you treat yourself. Actors do this all the time. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Denzel Washington. Their posture, gestures, and presence command attention without saying a word. You don't need to be famous to use the same principle. So here's your 7th upgrade. Improve your body language. Stand tall, walk confidently. Keep eye contact and use gestures that show control and purpose. Combine this with sleep, gratitude, digital cleanup, walks, planning, and learning skills, and suddenly people listen to you, respect you, and remember you, even before you say a single word. Remember, body language isn't just for impressing others. It changes your mindset. Confidence becomes a habit. Presence becomes natural, and doors start opening in ways you didn't expect. Now that your presence and confidence are growing, it's time for something powerful, freeing, and completely under your control, cutting out toxic people and habits. Think about it. Most of us complain about being stuck, stressed, or unmotivated. But the truth is, sometimes the problem isn't life. It's the people and habits we surround ourselves with. Imagine two friends. One always complains, criticizes, or drags you into drama. The other motivates, encourages, and inspires you. Who do you feel energized around? Who makes you feel like giving up? That's the power of your circle. Even famous people do this strategically. Steve Jobs wasn't afraid to cut people out of his team who weren't aligned with his vision. Oprah famously ended relationships, professional and personal, that drained her energy. Elon Musk is selective about who he works with because surrounding yourself with negativity kills productivity. And it's not just people. Habits count too. Late night scrolling, procrastinating, binge eating, mindless complaining, all of these silently steal your energy. If you want to level up, you have to cut the things that pull you backward, not just the ones that make you feel bad temporarily. Let me tell you a story. A young professional kept trying to get fit, but every time he hung out with a friend who ate junk food and complained about life, he'd fall back into old habits. One day, he decided to politely distance himself from negative influences and replace them with people who motivated him. Within weeks, he started waking up early, exercising, and making progress. Tiny change, massive effect. The principle is simple. Energy follows attention. You can't grow if your time, thoughts, and emotions are constantly being drained. Remove toxic people, limit draining conversations, and replace bad habits with small positive routines. Another example, Jim Carrey, when he was struggling as an actor, made a decision to focus only on what inspired him. He ignored critics, toxic peers, and anything that didn't move him closer to his goals. That focus helped him rise from nothing to one of the most successful comedians in the world. So here's your 8th upgrade. Cut toxic people and habits. Evaluate your relationships and routines. Keep what elevates you, remove what drains you. It's freeing, it's simple, and it's one of the fastest ways to protect your energy, focus, and sanity. Remember, this is your life. You don't need permission to remove negativity. Combine this with sleep, digital detox, gratitude, walking, planning, learning skills, and confident body language. And suddenly, your life is streamlined for success. Now that your energy is protected and your circle is clear of negativity, it's time for a simple habit that expands your mind, sharpens your thinking, and compounds into massive results. Reading just 10 pages a day. Yes, 10 pages. That's it. You don't need to read 5 books a week. You don't need a fancy library or a mentor in the room. Just 10 pages. And over time, those 10 pages can completely change your perspective, your decisions, and even your life trajectory. Think about it. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates reads about 50 books a year. Mark Cuban spends hours reading to stay ahead in business. They all know the secret. Knowledge compounds like money. Even a little bit every day adds up to enormous advantage over time. Here's a relatable example. Imagine 2 friends preparing for a career change. Friend A scrolls social media for 2 hours a day. Friend B reads 10 pages about the industry they want to work in. After a few months, friend B knows more, feels more confident, and gets opportunities that friend A didn't even notice. That's the power of consistent, small learning. Even funny everyday situations show this. A student reads 10 pages every day about public speaking. Within weeks, they understand techniques, strategies, and stories they can use. Soon they're speaking confidently in front of a class or meeting, while others are still memorizing notes at the last minute. Here's another powerful example. Naval Ravikant, the entrepreneur and investor, emphasizes that learning daily is a shortcut to wealth, clarity, and freedom. And he doesn't read thousands of books at once. He reads consistently, bit by bit, and lets the ideas sink in. The trick is consistency, not volume. 10 pages a day may seem small, but over a year, that's thousands of pages, knowledge that most people never acquire in a lifetime. And this knowledge doesn't just sit in your brain, it affects your decisions, your habits, and your confidence. So here's your 9th upgrade. Read 10 pages a day. Pick a book that teaches skills, mindset, strategy, or inspiration. Don't overthink it. Just read consistently. Even small, daily doses of knowledge compound into enormous results faster than you might imagine. We've gone through sleep, cleaning your digital life, gratitude, walking, planning your day, learning new skills, body language, cutting toxic people, and reading daily. All of these build your energy, focus, confidence, and knowledge. But there's one last, most powerful life upgrade. The one that separates the people who stay stuck from the ones who truly become unstoppable. And that upgrade is simple. Take full responsibility for your life. Think about it. Most people blame everything. The economy, their boss, their family, their luck. I can't succeed because the system is against me. I'm too tired, too poor, too uneducated. The list goes on. Sound familiar? Look at Michael Jordan. one of the greatest basketball players ever, didn't blame the coach, teammates, or referees when he failed. He took responsibility. He trained harder. He learned from mistakes. And that mindset, owning your failures and victories alike, made him unstoppable. Or look at Elon Musk. Every failed rocket, every Tesla production nightmare, every public criticism, he didn't point fingers. He took responsibility, learned, and pushed forward. That's the difference between dreamers and achievers. Here's a relatable example for everyday life. Imagine a student failing an exam. One approach is to blame the teacher, the questions, or bad luck. Another approach, take responsibility. Identify what went wrong. Study smarter, adjust habits, and improve. Within months, that same student is topping the class. Same circumstances, different mindset. Taking responsibility doesn't just solve problems. It empowers you. When you stop blaming, you start controlling. When you stop waiting for luck, you start creating results. When you accept full ownership, suddenly your energy, focus, and skills compound. Here's the funny truth. Most people avoid responsibility because it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is exactly where growth lives. Every successful person has felt it. Every entrepreneur, athlete, or creator has faced it. And every one of them realized, control your life or someone else will. So here's your final upgrade. Take responsibility for everything in your life. Your actions, your thoughts, your energy, your results. Stop blaming, stop waiting, and start acting. Combine this with all the other upgrades. Sleep, digital cleanup, gratitude, walking, planning, learning, body language, cutting toxicity, and reading. And what you get is a life that isn't just better, a life that's unstoppable. Remember, the first step is simple. Own today. Own this moment. Own your choices. And then everything else falls into place. This is the final piece. This is the upgrade that transforms all the others into a powerful, unstoppable life. Now, go ahead. Start applying these 10 upgrades today and watch your energy, confidence, and results skyrocket. Because success isn't a secret. It's a series of tiny, free, consistent choices that build into something extraordinary. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe, my friends.